is Mike McHugh, and I'm the Director of Communications for the International Cotton Advisory Committee. Welcome to the video series we're calling Get to Know the ICAC. We created it not just to help people learn more about the organization, but how to get more value from the information and services that we provide to our member governments and to the global cotton community as a whole. Although the ICAC was founded more than 80 years ago, these last few years have brought about a lot of change for us. We've become a more active and dynamic organization, especially with our work on the ground, where we're literally changing the lives for millions of people around the world. As a result of all those changes, we felt it was important to reintroduce the ICAC to the world. So these videos we created are going to address all aspects of the organization, from our history and founding in 1939, all the way through the development of our most cutting-edge technologies, and everything in between. In each episode, one member of the Secretariat will address a different aspect of the ICAC and how it works. And by the end of the series, you won't just know more about the organization, you'll know how to get the most value possible from the work that we do. So we're thrilled that you're coming along with us on this ride, and without further ado, let's get to know the ICAC.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining the ICAC info session. I am Parkhi Vats, the Commodity Trade Analyst for ICAC. I'm in charge for analyzing and updating world cotton trade data, and I'm also the author of ICAC's publication, the World Cotton Trade Report and the Specialty Cotton Report. In this particular session, we will explore how ICAC collects and processes data figures for global cotton market. I will begin by discussing the ICAC's trade algorithm, which is a sophisticated method that allows us to gather and analyze data quickly and accurately. I will explain how the algorithm works, why was it adopted, and its advantages over other methods of data collection. Next, we will explore how this information is provided to the ICAC data users. I will explain the types of reports that are created based on the trade figures. We will also explore where this information can be found and how it is used by various stakeholders in the cotton industry. Before we begin this presentation, I would like to inform you that ICAC provides information on all the cotton trading countries. This information is available at all times on the ICAC Data Dashboard, which is a user-friendly platform that allows you to access a wealth of data and analysis about the global cotton market. In addition, our written reports have expanded its scope to include information on partner countries for each reporting country. This means that you can gain insights into the value of cotton lint traded, as well as unit price analysis, seasonality reports, and quarter reports. So very quickly then, what we will cover in this presentation today, we will see why was the trade algorithm needed. Then we will quickly go through the steps of how does ICAC collects trade data, the manual analysis stage. Then we will quickly have a look at the case studies of where we were benefited by using the algorithm, and then countries and areas for which manual analysis is very crucial. And then we will move on to how we balance the world trade balance sheet and individual balance sheet for each country, how we update figures, and then finally presentations and ICAC trade reports. So the first question is, why was the trade algorithm needed? Now, when working with the trade data, we encountered some issues during the data collection stage. One common problem we faced was with the discrepancies in reported export and import figures between countries. For example, if country A reported exporting 1,000 tons to country B, but country B reported importing 1,200 tons from country A, this would result in a mismatch of primary and mirror data. Another challenge was missing country data, where a country may be present in the primary data, but may be missing from the mirror data and vice versa. In order to address these and other issues, we developed the ICAC trade algorithm. It's important to note that the algorithm is applied uniformly to all the cotton trading countries, providing a consistent, uniform, and scientific method for reporting trade figures. Let's have a look at our step 1. How does ICAC collect trade data? Now, ICAC collects most of its trade data using ICAC trade algorithm, a new system that combines automated data collection with manual analysis. This approach, nicknamed the best of all worlds approach, was developed to address the limitation of previous data collection methods. The automation part of the system is based on an algorithm that evaluates different sources of data and selects the highest reported figure for a particular country. For example, when reporting exports by a country, the system evaluates trade data monitor based exports, trade data monitor based mirror data, exports reported by international sources like USDA, UN Comtrade, ITC Trade Map, amongst others. The algorithm is designed in a way that it picks up the highest figure among all these reported figures while also including all partner countries and eliminates any double counting. This ensures that the data collected is accurate and reliable and provides a comprehensive view of the global cotton market. To understand the ICAC trade algorithm better, let's have a look at a few examples. 1. If one country is present in both the primary data and the mirror data, and if both these values are same, then it takes into consideration only one value and avoids double counting. Second, if a country is present in both primary data and the mirror data, but the values differ, then the system takes the higher value to avoid double counting. Third scenario, if a country is missing from the primary data, but is present in the mirror data or vice versa, the system includes that country's figure from the available data. For example, if a country reports exports to A, B, and C countries, but the mirror data includes information on A, B, C, and D countries, then the final ICAC figure will include information on all the 4 countries, taking the higher value to avoid double counting. These examples show how the ICAC trade algorithm works during the initial step of data collection. Later, in the case study section, we will discuss instances when the step fails and how this issue is resolved. Quickly moving on to the manual analysis stage. So before the final figure is entered in the database, the ICAC market analysis team manually compares this information from the country source. The primary data can be collected through various means, such as contacts from the country, emails from the member governments, coordinating agencies, member governments, country reports to ICAC, data collection from industry sources, private sector, amongst others. During this stage, we also analyze the trade trend of the country and other variables that should support the trade figure. For example, if a country produces 10 tons of cotton in a season and have stocks equivalent to 5 tons, but the exports for the season that we have collected is 25 tons, then we will not update this figure in the sets because it is clearly not viable and will unbalance the individual country's balance sheet as well as the overall world trade balance sheet. Let's look at some case studies that has benefited by using the algorithm. Almost all the countries reported have benefited from the algorithm, but let's quickly look at the examples of Vietnam and Pakistan. Now, the primary source of trade data for Vietnam typically provides preliminary data that takes 2 to 3 months to update to match to the mirror data. As the mirror data provides more up-to-date information, we use it to provide immediate updates, while also keeping track of any updates that comes through the preliminary data. For example, Pakistan, let's take the example of Pakistan's crop season of 2015-16. Now, according to the primary source, Pakistan's total imports were of 414,000 tons, while the mirror data reported imports of 662 tons, thousand tons, sorry. So in such cases, the algorithm analyzes each partner country of Pakistan. For instance, Pakistan reported importing 51,000 tons of cotton from Brazil, but Brazil reported exporting around 77,000 tons of cotton to Pakistan in the same season. In this scenario, the algorithm chooses the higher figure reported by Brazil. Then it applies the same methodology for all the reported partners and summarizes the final import figure for Pakistan. After obtaining a figure from the algorithm, the market research and analysis team conducts a manual analysis. At this stage, we compare the figure obtained through the algorithm with the data collected directly from our country source. Let's also look at some countries and areas for which manual analysis is very crucial. Now, we are constantly working to improve the way we report information and are open to suggestions on how we can do this better. These areas are still a work in progress, and we strive to find the most effective way to report our data. Let's look at European Union. Reporting trade from the EU is challenging due to the complexity of free trade zones and intra-EU trade. For instance, let's consider Germany as an example. The ICAC algorithm evaluates multiple data sources for Germany, including UN Comtrade, Eurostat, and the German Statistical Office. While Eurostat does not take into consideration intra-EU trade, the German Statistical Office provides trade data by origin. For instance, if United States exports a product to Netherlands, which in turn exports it to Germany, then the German customs will record it as an import from the United States, its original source. The ICAC algorithm considers all these data sources to calculate an export number for Germany. However, it's challenging to measure and eliminate all intra-EU trade. Moreover, reported export and import figures within the EU countries may differ. For example, in 2021-22 season, Germany reported exports of 415,000 tons of cotton to Austria, while Austria reported importing 1,861 tons from Germany, indicating a significant difference in figures. Therefore, the ICAC cannot completely exclude trade from Germany, even though it's not a cotton-producing country. This system applies to all the EU countries to update the export figures for the EU. We are continuously working to improve our reporting, and we welcome any suggestions to enhance the accuracy of our data. Another important region is Africa. Reporting on cotton trade from Africa is also very, very challenging, as many small cotton producing and exporting countries in the region do not provide official figures. Additionally, it can be difficult to accurately report figures when consignments cross national boundaries and use inland transport, or when the port of a different country than the producing country is used. Quickly having a look at step 3rd and 4th, balancing the world trade balance sheet and updating the final figures. So after the final trade figures are updated for each country, the ICAC team works on balancing both the country's balance sheet and the world trade balance sheet. To balance the country's balance sheet, the team ensures that the 5 variables, beginning stocks, production, consumption, exports, imports, and imports should balance the ending stock equation in every season. For example, a country cannot export more than the combined production and stocks, and it cannot consume more than their combined imports, production, and available stocks in a season. This balance is crucial and is maintained at all times on ICAC datasets. When working on projections, the world trade is always balanced based on the assumption that all the exports in a given season will be equivalent to the imports. However, this may not always be true for closed seasons. For instance, losses can occur during shipment due to weather damage, climate issues, or changes in season. Shipment weight can also change during transport, such as when shipments moving across the Pacific Ocean gain weight. As a result, the quantity reported by the importing country may be more than the quantity reported by the exporting country. Another reason for discrepancies is the change in season. The ICAC reports the crop season from August to July. If a consignment leaves on 31st July 2020, it will be reported by the exporting country for 2019-20 season. However, if it arrives in the importing country on August 10th, 2021, then it will be reported by the importing country in the 21-22 season. Very quickly looking at how this information is presented to the data users. The ICAC trade data, as indicated before, is always available on the ICAC dashboard. How to use the ICAC dashboard is covered in the first info session by Matthew Looney. The dashboard allows users to easily navigate and download trade data amongst other features. In addition to the dashboard, the ICAC also provides a written trade report that updates users on active economic and market scenarios as mentioned before. And this report can be found on the ICAC website. Before going, I want to assure you that ICAC's current algorithm and data reporting systems are more sophisticated than they have ever been. And we have invested countless hours in perfecting it. However, we are always looking for ways to improve it even further. So please feel free to share any suggestions or concerns you may have with this. If you have any feedback or ideas on how we can make our system better, please don't hesitate to contact us at the given email, and we welcome all your comments and suggestions. I wish you a great day. Thanks for listening to this info session on trade. Thank you.